Over 250 hours ago, I set out to do one thing and one thing only. Play WoW Classic to a point where I'd have fair grounds on which to review the game. A feat that eludes me to this very day. Personally, I'd argue that at the very least I'd have to reach the max level and kill the final boss. I think that's a strong case for a bare minimum. So how exactly did I end up losing all my gold in an Ironforge gambling ring after being roped into a terrible race war? Well, today's tragic tale starts with the release of Phase 2. One simple change. Killing other players now grants you honor points. The higher your honor rank, the better the rewards. As a new player, I assumed that was just a minor patch and nothing to really worry about. Yet I logged on to see AZEROTH on fire. The entire beautiful world they'd built, completely ruined. That's not my opinion either, just objectively. Here's an example. I want to go questing in Western Plaguelands. After dying a moderate amount of times, I finally managed to complete one single quest. Then on the way to the NPC, I die a couple more times. No big deal, except, they have now killed the guy who gave me the quest. Alright, this is no good. We'll have to fly away, except they killed the flight master.
What?
This forces us to actually experience what the WoW community calls the meaningful journey. Whilst I do enjoy the part where you're riding through breathtaking areas that clearly stood the test of time, and even 15 years after its release, still manages to captivate the player, and coupled with the legendary music, immerse them into this beautiful world. 2% of the time, I don't enjoy 98% of the time, where you want to get into Blackrock Depths, but now they don't just kill the flight master, they'll also camp the actual spirit healer and indefinitely kill you, forcing you to log off and come back at 4 AM to have some shot of returning to Ironforge like a pussy. Or you could do what I did.
Which is?
We'll get to that later. Perhaps you want to go to Kalimdor. Tough shit, homie, because you'll run into a field platoon of Horde players who all claim that they're the captain now, forcing you to take the much more inefficient route by sailing to Darkshore. Now, you could get a free teleport to Teneris once every 6 hours as an artisan engineer, but that would leave your endearing, primal, aggressive, top-shelf certified, 5-star banging WoW GF on her own with all these Horde players. And speaking of Amiri, she remains an absolute animal at this game.
Okay.
Not just has she been sending me care packages, not just does she literally come out of nowhere when I'm about to be killed without having communicated to me in any way that she was going where I was, or how long she'd been stealth near me.
Damn.
She also got her enchanting to 300 just to enchant all my gear. She's perfect. But enough about my e-dating, let's get back to my e-misery. With the world gone awry, a regular PvP server can
Is this like one of the most successful like e-dating stories we've ever heard? Because what the hell? This is like fire. What the fuck?
a single day turn into an RP nightmare hellscape. The Horde were locking us out of progressing through the endgame content, and it was showing in the cities. This guy in Ironforge was apparently the new king of the Alliance.
Yeah.
Everyone followed him in a train and started spreading lies about how he gave gold to everyone following him. It was in the midst of this chaos that I seized the moment and rose to the occasion. I started advertising in the trade chat, pretty much begging for higher level players to carry me through a dungeon I hadn't yet tried. Upper Blackrock Spire, which is technically a small raid, designed to be completed by 10 players rather than 5. Any seasoned WoW player will know that at level 53, you're absolutely not up to the task. But I was an unknowing fool. When Rurik approached me, I said, "Say not a word. I can sense why you have come. You have come to carry me through Blackrock Spire." Rurik laughed at me and proclaimed that he came to call me a milk boy and laugh at my res sickness. After 20 minutes of cringy roleplaying, I'd gathered a full party for Upper Blackrock Spire. I actually had to join the train of lunatics for anyone to listen to me. I don't know how that works. But anyways, You gotta do what you gotta do to get to level 60. After a handful of unavoidable deaths and a few that could have been avoided had I gone the right way, I finally entered Upper Blackrock Spire, but not before Cybox insists that we remake the party with him as the leader. Like the
I honestly kind of love that she just keeps going, what the fuck are you doing, Jonathan? Like, the realism is insane. Did you guys ever see that one League meme where it was like some girl who was playing she was like playing support and her boyfriend was like jungle, and she basically goes, what the fuck? I can't remember his name. I'm not dating you so I can be ganked like 3 times in 8 minutes. Iconic. Honestly, what the fuck are you doing, Jonathan?
psychopath control freak he is. We run into these people all the time in WoW, and unlike the friendly people, these guys actually have their shit together.
Okay.
So I saw this as an absolute win-win-win. I entered the first room of mobs, and with my level 53 aggro range, continued to immediately pull every single mob. All 10 of us get obliterated in probably the worst wipe I've ever caused. Then these level 60 psychos actually started domesticating me. They put me on the bench. They timed me out. My only privilege was watching them from afar whilst they cleared out the mobs. That is until we fought the beast, where I had the brilliant idea of helping my squad by using the Nomi Shrink Ray, which has a tiny chance of backfiring. I think I got a Nomi Shrink Ray this guy. Oh, it worked. Oh, that's not what I was going for.
Oh shit. Oh no, he's done.
I'm so sorry.
No.
We barely made it. The rest of the dungeon went pretty smooth. There were 2 worthwhile drops I could use from the dungeon.
That is so fucked up.
The Blade Master leggings that Amiri rolled 2 numbers higher than me for, after I accidentally didn't see her message telling me she really needs them, and the Brigham Girdle. When my trustworthy companions told me not to need on it,
is to not roll on belt. I have been trying to get it for a long time.
I knew it was a godly item, so you already know I yeeted that shit with a solid 95. Not gonna lie, it was mega boring to stand back and get carried without lifting a finger. I don't know how Asmongold does it 8 hours a day.
Damn!
But there was one silver lining. I'd jumped on Discord with a couple of these people and they were actually pretty chill. They taught me something that would forever change how I play World of Warcraft.
Okay, what is it?
Death rolling.
Ooh.
The AZEROTH equivalent to playing dice. It's very simple. You bet gold against each other and you slash roll 10 times the amount you bet. Then your opponent rolled the number you got, and the first person to hit one loses. To begin with, I had misunderstood the rules because I am a fucking idiot. I rolled 100 on my first try and assumed that these guys were scammers when they didn't give me any money. What went completely over my head though was Bob Gnarly running into unfathomable bad luck, hitting a 1 in 330.
Damn!
That's rough, buddy. Once I properly understood the game, they told me tales of a secret gambling ring in Ironforge and one legend who was undisputedly the king of gambling. I had to know what this was all about. I went to Ironforge and this was the first time I would meet Compound, who I'd describe as a man with a severe problem. He'd been standing right here several hours a day for nearly 2 weeks, and his name preceded him for a very good reason. If you were confirmed to be an honorable gambler who pays up, he would take you up on any bet, any amount of times.
Damn!
And he cleaned out countless people. To show you guys that I didn't fake what you're about to see, I'm gonna walk you through every single bet I made, but just be warned, this isn't happy hour.
God damn it, Jonathan.
I'm not fucking around. I'm goddamn serious.
Oh,
I
shit.
start out with 115 gold, and then immediately cut this whole part out of the script because I wrote way too much. All you need to know is I was down to a fraction of my starting bankroll and decided to put it on the line. 33 gold, 0 silver, and 79 copper. Who wants to go the distance? Tonus takes me up on the offer. I roll a 1, after which I painstakingly give away all my wealth. I had nothing left.
Oh shit, Jonathan!
For one thing, this is where I started rising to glory. I'm goddamn serious here. Tony had rolled a 4, and I'd somehow missed it and rolled a 3. These people, myself included, were absolutely goddamn serious about the rules, so we redid the roll. I land on a 3, he lands on a 3.
Oh.
I land on a 2, and boom, there it is. And you know me, I had but one thing to say. 66 gold, 1 silver, and 58 copper.
Oh my god.
Who wants to go the distance? Tonus takes me for a dim-witted casual and rolls 1 in 36. That's what I'm talking about, baby. We won it all back. The
Oh my
legend of the
God.
gambler who actually chased his losses successfully. But there's no reason to stop when you're on a roll.
Oh,
So it
no.
was time for some big dick bets. Me and Tonas went in for the big bucks with a 100 gold death roll. I roll 719, and by some unholy curse, Tonas rolls a 5.
No!
I bring it down to 3. Then I saw the 2 and I knew it was all over. Tonas rinses me for 100 gold. Now we're down to 26. I immediately went all in against Dr. Zeta. On a 420 roll, I start us on a 6. Menacing, but not as terrifying as the 2 that Dr. Zeta puts down. Like a primal animal, I run it back and lock out on the 50-50, after
No.
which Zeta fails that same coin flip. He even added an extra gold in the trade. Now that's sportsmanship. But when you think about it, I just spent an hour and a half just to bankrupt myself. It's really not a good look. Anyway,
It really isn't.
I lose 20 to Zeta, and this is where Compound gets overconfident. You see, he wanted to be the one to clean me out. He put his 66 gold against my 33, an offer I simply could not refuse.
Okay.
He rolls a 5, I roll a 4, and he rolls a 1. All right, we're back at 100 gold. Lose 5 to Codex, and then we take a portal to Darnassus for a change in scenery. I roll
Okay.
for 50 with Zeta, I win 50 gold from Zeta. I lose 25 to Tonas, and decided to quit while I was ahead, and go do Blackrock Mountain with some of the people I was gambling with.
What?
Which I'll tell you about in due time. But here's what happened when I inevitably continued death rolling for gold. I win 10 gold
No.
against Codex, he bumps it up to 20, and I tell him to make it 25. In 3 rolls, that one was a quickie. We go for 15, and this simply wasn't Codex day. I hit a 2 on his 2, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you. Now we're resting nicely at
Damn.
170. I lose 20 to Ari, after which I lose 20 to CJ on his first death roll after I just taught him the game. That's how depraved I am. The usual gambling clique had left, and I actually had to rope other people into it to keep gambling.
That's
I win 24 gold
crazy.
over Codex with a bit of nutty luck. I win 50 from Codex. Codex wins 50 from me. Jupes comes in and drops 15. I grab 10 from Codex, and because I like a clean number, we roll for 11. Throw in another 10, that puts us at 180. I'm starting to think this is skill and not luck. Win 15 gold. Now it's time to go big. 50,
Guys,
he rolls a 5.
that's
I
crazy.
Hit 4. He hits 4. I hit 3. He hits 2. I hit 2. He hits 2. And god fucking damn it, I hit 1.
Oh.
After losing 50, I win 25. After winning 25, I lose 25. Codex, the bastard, keeps winning these coin flips and takes another 20 from me. Now I've spent 3 hours and I'm exactly where I started. So I said, fuck it, I'm all in. The numbers got lower and lower
Oh,
until
no.
Jukes hit a 5. I win the 80% RNG, and sadly, he couldn't muster the luck to win a 1 out of 3. That's right, bitch! We double up to a clean 250.
What
Take
the
25
fuck?
from Codex, lose 15 to El Hopos, and brutally give up 60 gold to Not Meta, who it should be noted is Compound's alt. Another thing to note is that they came back to death roll at 4:30 in the morning. Compound and I rolled for
Goddamn.
100 gold. We drop the 666 in the chat, after which I roll a 5. Compound rolls a 3. Yours truly takes it down to a 2.
Oh.
Now we're in 50-50 territory. He actually puts a 2 down. I don't like that. I don't like the look of that at all. So what I do is I actually also put a 2 down, but then at the same time fart in his face.
What?
You already know what the fuck is up. 300 gold. King Arthur loses 25. Z loses 40. Fiona drops 25. And finally, Roxanne is my 5th win in a row, resting comfortably at 400 gold.
That's
The win streak
crazy.
breaks on a 30 gold roll, and I roll for 50 with Compound. He'd been death rolling for nearly 2 weeks, and I could tell it was starting to break him. When he lost this roll, he simply started fleeing. Naturally, I hunted him down and got my money. When some rogues then killed Jupes, I took it as a sign and ended the night
Damn.
at 420 gold. A few days later, I returned at 2 a.m. The death-rolling hustlers weren't to be found in their usual spot. But it was not a good night for Compound. Over a 2-week period, he was down over 10,000 gold. He had emptied his
What?
main, and now he was on his alt, peddling away his last epic item, the Staff of Jordan. An absolutely incredible item with a 0.02% drop chance. After weeks of senseless death rolling, he was at the end of the road, broken and defeated. I couldn't help but pity him in this fiendish state. He was truly at his lowest.
Guys,
attempting
don't
to sell
gamble.
his last treasured item just so he could have one last hit of dopamine before he'd go back to solo farming Hand of Justice for 15 gold per Angerforge kill. If you don't play WoW and that's all blibbly blabbly to you, know that he would have to spend many hours of his life to even rebuild a fraction of what he once had.
Damn.
I saw this man on his knees at his most vulnerable, and I thought to myself, give him nothing, but take from him everything.
Oh
The
shit.
staff was selling on the auction house for 350 gold. Compound wanted to use it instead of gold to roll against someone. His friends simply couldn't bring themselves to do it to him. I knew I had all the leverage. I told the broken man, I can settle on 160. All you would have to do is type /roll 1600.
Oh shit. No. No!
I tell these gentlemen, it's been a pleasure doing business with them. And if you thought I was done, you haven't been paying attention. I told you, I don't fuck around. Compound starts taking gold out of his guild bank and racking up debt with his friends because he wants to win his staff back.
What?
I roll him for 50, and whatever was left of his soul got sucked out when he oofed at 1 out of 27. Fikika wants to avenge his friends, whose night I clearly ruined. And on a 1 to 18, I take 100 gold from this loser, resting pleasurably at 515. I roll Compound for another 50. Luck finally seems to be coming his way when he hits a fat 2. Sadly for Compound, I'm a true legend of Azeroth, and I rinse him for another 50.
No! Guys, don't gamble. Don't gamble. Actually, don't gamble. This is insane, guys. This is actually crazy.
I went BRD and started death rolling there, because why play the dungeon when you can play real World of Warcraft? I managed to bring myself barely to 600 gold before my WoW GF actually fucking destroys me for 50.
Damn!
After which I go back to Ironforge. I roll Borman for 50 gold, I drop a 2, he drops a 2, I drop a 2, and it's easy as that, folks. He decides to raise the stakes to 100, he drops a 2.
Damn!
I absolutely rinse him, like the primal fucking animal I am, for the second time in a row. Now we're at 700
Holy
gold.
shit!
I lost a few smaller bets, setting me back to 676, and then a day later, whilst Compound was down gambling to this mean dwarf named Shorty, I sell Shorty the Staff of Jordan for 260 gold. Right under Compound's nose.
Oh
and
shit!
that's how you afford your epic mount at level 55, bitch! 900 gold earned in less than 10 hours. Go home, Chinese gold farmers. I'm the goddamn king. I run this shit. Whoever said gold farming was boring in WoW, you're delusional. This is the only fun part of this boring-ass game. I admit I felt a little bad when less than a minute later, Compound asked if I still had his staff. But I made it up to him by rolling him for another 50.
No!
God, I love this game. To cut a very long story short, I would go on to death roll every single day instead of leveling for the next week. You may not know this about me, but I'm very, very impulsive.
Okay.
And I'll have you know that even within the constraints of the YouTube advertiser guidelines, you might get away with saying that I have allegedly many years of experience with respectively online slot machines and Texas Hold'em. And based on said imaginative experience, I would hypothetically know that the only winning move here is to stop playing. I somehow ended up at 1600 gold. That's after buying bank space, all the 16 slot bags I wanted, getting my Crusader enchant, sending like 200 gold to my WoW GF just because I'm a fucking pimp like that, leveling up all my skills, and paying Compound to farm Hand of Justice for me for hours.
Damn!
After which I won all the money back I...
He paid Compound? He fucking paid Compound to farm for him and then won the money back from Compound? Oh my god.
Hi besties, it's me, Miwa, and if you're enjoying today's video, please consider subscribing, okay? Like, please, 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 times a billion. I'm like, really asking this of you, ne?
Compound, please block this man. I know it's been like this series is 5 years old, but Compound, you gotta block this man, dude. Scissor, it's so crazy. Oh, seven's in the chat for Compound.
Just paid him. For a man like him, it never ends. He's simply in too deep. But there's still hope for me. You see, I have dreams, things I wish to do with my life. I'm not gonna be a nobody role-playing dice for fake money in Ironforge for the rest of my days, whilst my central nervous system grows ever less capable of regularly producing dopamine. I have to rise above it, get to level 60, buy my epic mount, clear Molten Core, get percentage hit gear, and respect to Fury Warrior so I can viably dual wield. Then I have to slay countless Horde players and finally make a PvP montage in 240p with copyrighted music.
Damn,
then,
true.
And only then can I truly become a legend of Azeroth.
True.
So I don't got time for this shit. I got places to be and things to do. I'm quick on my feet, vicious. Some would even call me nimble. And whilst we're on the subject of velocity, here's something quite interesting. Every race in WoW has exactly the same base move speed. Here's the myriad of things I did to change that. You remember when we did Alderman? That's when I started a quest chain that led me on a scavenger hunt across the world. I killed Grelborg the Miser in the Alterac Mountains. Then I went to Dustswallow Marsh to kill Dagon the Ravenous. And finally I journeyed to Stranglethorn Vale to kill Moog the Undying. At the level I was at, I'd describe the process of soloing these elite mobs as trial and error. After bringing the Star of Zelia, the Hand of Dagon, and the Legacy Heart to Garrick Bone Grip in Ironforge, I do the final part of the quest, Forbidden Knowledge, which led me to Theldarin in the Badlands. Completing the entire quest chain grants me the Skull of Impending Doom, which is an offhand that sucks your life force in exchange for movement speed. In the Badlands, I also completed another quest, incorrectly named This Is Going to Be Hard. It was a very easy quest, which got me the nifty stopwatch, a trinket that increases my run speed by 40% for 10 seconds. Then I crafted the Gnomish rocket boots, got them enchanted with 8% extra movement speed, and as the cherry on top, I got my WoW GF to brew me some swiftness potions. Right after spending that good handful hours of my life was the very moment I found out that these movement speed bonuses, they don't stack. So I couldn't even do the move I'd worked so hard for. And even if I could, it dawns on me that I'm intensely untalented. Here's a great example. I jump down with a Skull of Impending Doom because I want to look like a swagdon gliding fast with my parachute cape. I completely forget to re-equip my weapon. I don't question the fact that I'm only doing 3 damage, and to round out this masterpiece of a wipe, I also pop Retaliation whilst none of the mobs are attacking me. Nearing 300 hours of game time, and I'm still more often than not the sole reason why we fail miserably. With the Eastern Kingdoms engaging in a plethora of territorial land wars, I decided to switch continents and hope that the Horde were less prevalent in Kalimdor. I went to Tenaris and killed an unreasonable amount of Thistle Shrub Dew Collectors to get the Latent Dew Gland. Wowhead tells me it has a 13.65% drop chance, and there's literally no way that's true. We killed like 200. After it finally dropped, I decided to undertake the closest thing to self-harm World of Warcraft has to offer. A cross-continent escort mission. I walk Tuga all the way across Tenaris, only for him to be reunited with his wife, who's absolutely stuck up, tells him to go get food, and generally just starts bitching at her long-lost soulmate. Then, I turned in the Latent Dew Gland, only to be informed that to complete this very special quest, I had to acquire a plant on the other side of the world. So I take my Hearthstone to Ironforge, travel to the hinterlands, and collect a mushroom from the bottom of a lake. Then I use my ultra-safe transporter to teleport to Tenaris, because absolutely fuck Menethil Harbor. Due to a minor malfunction, I'm turned into a troglodyte.
Why do all of our homies hate Menethil Harbor? Uber's type of guy with max luck but no other stat. True, I mean, he made most of his money through like, you know, death rolling, so hey. Good for him, I guess.
Once the troglodycia wears off, I make Sprinkle turn this mushroom into violet powder, and she tells me,
Pleasure doing business with ya.
I take the violet mushroom powder to Marin Noggenfogger, and right as I turn in the quest for the Noggenfogger elixir, I hit level 53. At which point, I decided to start questing in Ungoro Crater. You can actually jump straight in there from Tenaris if you have the parachute cape, which, as it turns out, doesn't work when you're mounted. Now, when performed correctly, the parachute cape will let you gracefully glide through the air, avoiding the certain death of a high-altitude fall. Although if you do stress test your physique against the harsh perils of gravity, know that you can't recover your corpse, so enjoy 10 minutes of res sickness, fool. Another way to do it is to activate the cab a tad later, take a chunk of fall damage, and die to the pterodax. And finally, here's the actual way to perform the trick. I calculated that with absolute...
Did you guys see that? His fucking like tiger you killed himself. Oh my god, look.
And finally, here's the actual way to perform the trick. I calculated that with absolute maths and perfect precision. The joke's on me though. I'll still have to wait for Emiri to corpse walk. I love World of Warcraft Classic, man. Ungoro is thematically one of my favorite zones. It's this jungle in a crater. It definitely feels secluded from the rest of the world, and the vibrant colors mixed with exotic ambience absolutely immerses you for several minutes at a time, until you're corpse camped by disgusting horde players. I managed to finally escape them, only to have the worst questing experience of my life. I killed these tar lurkers that make you walk really slow. I picked up various glowing Konokai crystals, and then I rode all the way to 3 different pylons.
That's the GF? Oh, that's his GF. Okay. His GF died with the tiger because she's actually loyal. That is an insane thing to say, but fair. Turns out his girlfriend was on the mount, guys. So it wasn't just a tiger that died, it was his GF too. 07's in the chat.
There's always the usual, extremely rewarding drop rate quest that can take anywhere between 4 minutes and 2 hours. I traveled to the middle of the Ungoro crater only to realize that was no place for a level 51 Alliance player in Phase 2. The only redeemable part of my time in Ungoro was when I leveled my guns by practicing on various innocent exotic animals. A brilliant idea suggested to me by my carnal, ruthless, fantastic World of Warcraft girlfriend. The training
Wait, what did she say?
Fantastic World of...
I want to kind of mob with my slowing poison while you and I shoot it with bows and guns. Romance.
Warcraft girlfriend. The training actually came in handy 10 minutes later in this cave when I was chosen by a mage, the most insecure class in WoW. He was about to escape with a sliver of health when I pulled out the gat.
Damn!
And finally, this is the quest that broke me. I spent 10 minutes climbing the steep walls of the crater, determined to reach this bastard quest that seemed so out of the way, only to find out that obviously it was in a cave and not up here. In retrospect, I suppose dropping out of high school might not have been an option or a choice, but rather just my path. Anyways, when I reached the quest marker with Blackvard, it turns out that it's a mech gorilla escort mission. But you need a mithril casing to activate it. A third guy showed up named Flokia. He actually rinsed me, making me pay 3 fucking gold for a mithril casing, after which he immediately activated the quest without me. At this very moment, I logged off World of Warcraft. A few days later, I was in Stranglethorn Vale with Emiri. I went to make a cup of tea and set my character to follow Emiri. When I came back, I was in a house in Goldshire, ready to do whatever it is people do in Goldshire. I keep the guild tabard on. You already know I'm that guy. After the authentic Blizzard experience craps out, I leveled my engineering to 265 and crafted a robot chicken that can be summoned to slay my enemies. Maybe. The Gnomish Mind Control Cap, which, as the name suggests, actually lets you mind control a humanoid target. Your results may vary. It never works. And the Gnomish Cloaking Device, which lets me stealth to escape certain death. Sometimes. I also acquired the Goblin Jumper Cables, which lets me shock motherfuckers back to life. Sometimes.
Should I DM Leah and be like, did you know we can scissor in like WoW? We just have to like position it really well. Dude, what do you think she'll say? Do it? Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm a natural disaster? Are you fucking kidding me? Guys, that is mean. Okay, I'm gonna message Leah. Hi, BB. Did you know that we can scissor in WoW? if we position ourselves correctly. Okay. Time for the incoming HR violation.
Then went to Stormwind, where I met an annoying player named White Girl Uwu. She simply wouldn't stop bothering me, so I farted her in the face. She was pissed and wanted to duel me for my transgressions. We went outside Stormwind, I brought her down to size and defeated her using only my robot battle chicken, after which she took back everything she said. Having had my fair share of questing, world PvP, and cringy role-playing, I knew it was time for a real-ass dungeon. One of the realest dungeons in the game. Blackrock Depths is one of the best dungeons in World of Warcraft, and as much as I would have loved to shit on the Circle Jerk, and this dungeon is the best thing of all time in the whole world.
Is it
You get in and you see there's a locked door, you need a key, and it's genius game design. It makes you think, what's behind the door?
Okay.
It's replayable.
Okay.
As much as I would love to shit on that Circle Jerk, they're actually right. It's a really fucking good dungeon.
Okay.
It's fucking massive. There's so many different routes and runs you can do. Every section and boss is memorable. The loot is fucking incredible. It's not just standing and hitting, it's actually fucking difficult. And even I have to admit that its replayability is absolutely extensive. I'd go so far as to say that it's replaced Dead Mines as my favorite dungeon. Since I've already ran it a dozen times, instead of showing you one single run, I'm gonna show you clips from respectively the one perfect run I did with my guild and all the other terrible runs I did with various other people. Then you'll see the stark contrast between how it can be done and how it should be done. And get this show on the road already. The video's already half an hour long. Jesus fucking Christ! You could start by going the wrong way and dying on the other side of the lava where you can't possibly recover your corpse, but still walk all the way just to find that out. Then die again, eat the rest sickness, and corpse walk about 20 deaths to finally jump down in the right spot. Or, hear me out, you could go the right way instead of wasting your time. Optimally use charge and intercept to get as much distance as possible out of each corpse walk. Utilize movement speed and stealth trinkets to effectively enter the dungeon in under 10 minutes. You could die to the first pack of mobs you pull because you didn't wait for the patrol. Then at the last second activate the gnomish cloaking device and get fucked anyways, because it's terrible and never works. You go through the walk of shame and then you pull all the mobs and die again. And you do that again. Or you could take on a couple enemies at a time and chill out without worrying, since you're at the easiest part of the dungeon. Make it to the boss and tank him against the wall. No sweat. In fact,
is this a boss that you can cheese? Wait, man, VTubers are wild. From my experience, the only group of women more down bad than women in general. See, it doesn't help that we are most of us are actual women behind, like, you know, the model. So it becomes like women times 2, you know? Like so female VTubers are just women 2 electric boogaloo. Okay, mad VTubers are wild. From my experience, the only group of people more down bad than women in general. Oh, I was like, did I not understand your comment? Yeah, we're just women squared. So it's like extra everything, you know, extra stupid, extra weird, extra stalkery, extra horny. Trust. It's all times 2, baby. Hell yeah. See, I have like my reading comprehension kind of booty, you know, but 0 times 2 is still 0. So that checks out, right?
why even do this part when you could run something efficient? Go straight to Arena followed up by Angerforge. Great loot distribution for everyone in your party and a shot at Hand of Justice. Speaking of Angerforge, yeah, you can fuck that up too. I don't even know how we died in this room. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to die in this room. Pop retaliation, way. How did I even die there? No one knows, but I did die. Or perform the lava skip. Why even fight all the trash mobs that drop garbage loot? Swim through the lava. Look at my health. Look at my health. Watch what I do here. Watch this line. Watch this line I make. Perfection. Fucking frame perfect. I told you. I run this shit. Jump down and aggro all the grim patrons. Our slightly underleveled party wipes and we walk a reasonable distance to get to play the game again. then walk in the next room and get decimated, making us walk a moderate. Open the relic vault, get that fat loot, bitch. That's what it's
Yeah,
all
get
about.
that
And
fat
right as
fucking
we open
loot.
this massive gate, we appropriately discuss the strategy for how exactly we're gonna clear one of the most serious DPS checks in the game. Or
What the fuck is that? Wait, what? Neat mage.
anyways, at the end we kill Emperor Thorsan. BRD is a fucking phenomenal dungeon, and I'm definitely not done running it. You know what I did say I was done with though? Death rolling for gold. Which is why it should come as a shock to you that I returned to Ironforge with high-minded ambitions. I was just gonna go for maybe 1 or 2 small death rolls, just for fun, you know, before going to bed, just to chill out a little bit. However, I suppose you could say I made some poor bets and mismanaged my funds. Swak doesn't flinch. I'm determined to win it back. I roll most dope for 50, drop a 1 in 5. I mean, shit happens. That's
Damn.
when he hit me with double or nothing. I tell him,
Oh, hell
only
yeah.
if we roll for 100 this time. I almost immediately lose it in exactly the same way by dropping a 1 in 5.
No!
That's 150 gold down the drain. Considering that I was already down 400 gold, this wasn't an amount I could afford to lose. So I tell the man, double or nothing.
No.
I drop a cursed 4 and a 395, and let's be honest, this really wasn't my day.
No.
I somehow won it all back, and I took that as a sign to go for a 500 gold death roll.
Stop.
How this man's brain works.
Oh no, it's possible. Oh no.
No. No.
And it was at this point in time that I underwent a lapse in judgment and went all in with my 900 gold. All or nothing. One final bet to end it all.
Why am I actually?
Okay.
This is a really bad start. 27. Okay.
No. 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 Oh. Oh.
Oh my god.
No.
I don't care what these people think of me. Fuck this shit. See you guys later. And then I logged back in to say one thing. Wait.
Wait. Wait, dude.
All the 4.
What? Wait, brother, no! Oh my god, that was dummy intense. I don't even know why I was like that nervous, but I was so fucking nervous, dude. Holy shit. By the way, Tulak sent me something to watch and I forgot to watch it, so should we just watch it real quick? It's something called That's the World of Warcraft You Play. Okay. Earth?
Druid! There's travel in your future when you hit level 30 and you get your travel form. You will never be a rogue, always healing and crying about your class. Hunter!
Okay.
You will want every single weapon in the entire freaking game.
Really?
You don't need anything but your pet, cinnamon, scattershot, and then bang death. Mage! You think you're almighty with your epic staff, with arcane power and a Zandalarian hero charm. The only problems will be ripped to shreds and you will be nerfed by every single glitchy patch.
Really?
That's the world of Warcraft that you play. Yeah. That's the world of Warcraft that you played. That's the world of Warcraft that's the world of Warcraft that you played.
Damn.
That's the world of Warcraft that you played. Rogue! 50% of your server will be composed of rogues who rolled their class to be cheap. You should not worry because you can one-shot someone without any kind of skill. Priest! You think you're a shadow priest, but you will be forced to be a heal bot in your raid.
Damn.
You should prepare to jump off a cliff when suddenly everything is your fault. Shaman! You are the most overpowered class. All you have to do is cast Frost Shock to win. Remember to keep reincarnation up, and it will take 10 alliance just to take you down.
Damn.
That's the world of Warcraft that you play. That's the world of Warcraft that you played. That's the world of Warcraft that you World of Warcraft that you play. Yeah. That's the World of Warcraft that you play. Well, you think you have these skills because you raid all day and night, or you have finally grinded to Grand Marshal or to High Warlord, and you may have epic gear so you can brag to all your friends that you spend too much time playing this stupid time-consuming game. And just because you have tier 3 gear only shows that you have no life, and it will be useless in the upcoming expansion pack. So I suggest you go outside and ride your bike off in a pool, or play with kittens so you get away and do protective work. Or was I?
Warrior!
You might have incredible strength, and you can probably pwn somebody's face, but you are worthless without a priest. You are destined to raid for all your life.
Paladin!
You strike fear into the hearts of the horde, simply using your hammer and bubble earth. You think that you are a warrior, but you will always be that guy who never heals.
Warlock!
Damn.
You should be able to kill someone with a 10,000 damage shadow bolt crit. If I were you, I'd join a guild and always raid. Never, 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 never leave my house again. That's the world
What
of
the
Warcraft
hell?
that you play. Yeah. That's the world of Warcraft that you played. That's the world of Warcraft that you played. Yeah. That's the world of Warcraft that you played. That's the world of Warcraft that you played.
Damn. I have no idea, but cool. I mean, I guess like maybe, I don't know. I don't think I play Shaman though, for
It's
reals.